I had no idea कि क्या होता है, कैसे होता है. So all of these things are very important. And if you are thinking of becoming a freelancer, it comes with a lot of flexibility in your life.
Welcome to Creative Climb, a series that's all about creative inspiration and career paths. We'll be chatting with some seriously talented individuals who have defied the odds and made it big in their fields. From food stylists to design enthusiasts, we'll get up close and hear all about how they got into their dream schools, built killer portfolios, and the wild, wacky things they did to prepare for their careers. With witty banter, fun stories, and lots of coffee, I promise to keep you entertained and motivated. So sit back, relax, and join us in this incredible journey of creativity and success. Like, tell people about what you do and everything, like anything you want to share.
Okay, so hi, I'm Priyanka, and I graduated from Shrishti in 2018. And right now I'm an illustrator. I'm an independent illustrator. I've been working on books. I've been working on ads and a lot of like exciting stuff, with illustration. And I'm looking to expand very actively. So with freelance, I also have my own company called Chamki & Co. And it's very new. And we are doing products. We're doing illustrated products which have a story behind them, and lots more is to come for Chamki for sure. So yeah.
Cool. So Priyanka, will go way back from when you were at college. So first question is, how did you decide to study design? Was it always in the cards?
So art was always on the cards, So I wanted to do something with art. So two options are fine arts tha and the other one was design. But design also I found out very much by chance. So one of our family friends was like, there's this field and you want to check it out. So I said, okay, because it's not conventional, right? We don't see it. Artist is always like associated with fine art and JJ, So that was what I had in mind in 7th, 8th. But by 10th, it was clear that, I had two options to choose from. And then I went for coaching classes for, to get some background of this. And that really helped me understand, why design is what I should go for. Because that's also like the process oriented approach that I really enjoyed, and I thought might as. And the funny thing is I signed up for product design. I wanted to sign up for product design and ended up doing illustrations. So
and I must tell everyone that product design that time was industrial product design. HCI, like human centered design. That time I think that was just a one-off thing that you would do, just by the way. But I don't think it was really, we did not even have it as our
like a core thing. And the thing is you don't know at that point what the whole thing entails unless you're in college and you see so I took many courses in product design. The faculty at Shrishti will very much agree with this. I think that I failed so bad at those because I used to end up doing the branding part of it, or I'd do the visuals part of it, or the presentation part of it. So I never really did product design at the end of it. But
did you finally graduate as a VC student or
No, as an information arts, very vague, information arts and information design practices. But my projects, both my projects in 4th year were about illustration oriented. So
So during your this journey 4 years, that's when you found illustration in between.
Yeah, so actually I've been drawing since I was a kid, but I never knew कि उसको क्या बोलते हैं. So it was always initially of course it was अच्छा ये अच्छा लगा तो copy कर लिया, that sort of a thing. But when you got into college, then there were courses about storytelling and how do you make storybooks, and that's when something clicked for me. So that was really cool. One of the courses, I remember that's also how I got my name, Chamki & Co. So we were doing a character. Sadhvi Rava was the faculty, and I really had a lot of fun because she made us go around the SFS colony where we were staying, right? And we had to do 100 sketches of dogs. So unke साथ बैठ के sketch करना था वहाँ पे. So, and then at the end of it, we made a story and we did a character out of those dogs. And my character was Chamki.
Chamki. Chamki the dog.
Okay. Yeah, the dog. And that's where it all clicked for me. Ki, अच्छा, इसमें तो मजा आ रहा है, ये करना है. So, a lot of things started at Chamki for me.
So, but another thing I want to say is that when we were at college, there were ways of, you start looking at art studios or like design studios, and then you say ये जो कर रहे हैं वो मुझे करना है, and then you start
हाँ.
doing that. So
Yeah.
was it something like that for you, or was it like पर मतलब पता था कि I know that you do children's book illustration and stuff like that. पता था children's book illustration क्या होती है?
कोई आइडिया नहीं था, कोई भी आइडिया नहीं था. एंड द थिंग इज आई फिगर्ड इट आउट इन थर्ड ईयर क्योंकि इंटर्नशिप करनी होती थी. सो आई इंटर्न विद कथा. सो तभी आई वाज लाइक अरे इसमें तो बिकॉज बाय दैट टाइम आई हैड हैड दैट कोर्स वेयर आई वाज लाइक कैरेक्टर में मजा आ रहा है, स्टोरी बुक इलस्ट्रेशन. सो unfortunately or fortunately I don't know, but for me it was always like अच्छा जिसमें मजा आ रहा है वो कोर्स लेता है, you know. So it was never like ये सीखना चाहिए इसलिए ये कोर्स लेते हैं. It was always that I used to be very curious about इसमें क्या करेंगे, इसमें क्या करेंगे. So I would take the course that I thought कि will teach me more. And yeah, तो मेरे लिए in fact I didn't plan on freelancing at all. So I was always with the mindset कि नहीं यार job ढूंढनी है. And then after that like projects started coming and then I started enjoying the work because I feel like it's a full package, कि आप client से कैसे बात करते हो, कैसे आप timelines अपना. So that I really have fun with that. I mean of course there are ups and downs, but yeah.
Basically तुम सिर्फ कारीगर नहीं हो, तुम सब सोचना.
That is like I feel like the art bit of it is like 10%. Everything else we don't see behind the scenes. Yeah.
So tell us about Katha. Like, what if someone doesn't know what Katha is, and how did you get that first internship?
Okay, so Katha is an NGO and they also have their own books. So उनके basically खुद के schools है Delhi में especially, and then they have their own syllabus sort of a thing for the kids who study there. So उनके जो stories थे they were very interesting. They're by Geeta Dharmarajan, who is like the founder of Katha, and so we were working very closely with her. So we went and saw the schools and we saw their curriculum and then so I got to illustrate a book with them. So that was very exciting. I had written to lot many publication houses because तभी मुझे वही target था कि I wanted to work with one. So Tara, Penguin, Tulika
books.
Yeah, and Katha was very fun for me. It was a very like new experience because वो जो शौक होता है ना कि कॉलेज में आप बहुत प्रोसेस ओरिएंटेड होते हो, यहाँ पे वो नहीं. वो फर्स्ट इनिशियल शॉक कथा में समझ गया था कि oh this is how this business actually works.
Business, yeah. So you wrote to them.
I wrote to them, yeah. I emailed them कि this is an internship opportunity, like I want to take up if you have, if you can give it to me, it'll be amazing. And there's a lot, and especially because they had a school, sort of a thing associated with them, it was more exciting because there's more to learn, more to explore.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's when you realized कि children's book and like illustration.
हाँ, but मुझे कभी लगा नहीं था कि ऐसे project आएगा and I'll take it up and then this will become a thing eventually. तो ये नहीं सोचा था, but yeah, that's how it started.
So then, of course, third year में कर लिया and then fourth year के वो जो first and second जो हमारे projects होते हैं. So that's how it started building up for you, right?
Yeah. So the fourth year का जो पहला project था, that was also a book that I did. So I wrote the book. It was about body positivity and how beauty standards in the world. And there was of course Shrishti में जैसे होता है ना, lot of research, lot of like brainstorming on that. But the end product for me was a book. And the second one was actually very exciting. Just a second, I think I have that one here also. Yeah. So it was called Sair, if you can see.
Yeah.
So this was done in Gulbarga. So Karnataka Maharashtra border जो है, तो वहाँ पे there was this dargah and I wanted to work with the stories in the dargah. So each tomb has a story, right? So we did like an interactive map.
Yeah.
So people could scan this and sort of hear the story. Is what.
Hear the story. I mean,
Yeah.
like, here. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this was like a huge map. So my idea was to install it at the start of the dargah, and then give these booklets out so people could walk around there like, acha ye wala ye hai, and then they hear the story of the person for whom it's dedicated.
That's why it's called a Sair. Like you're walking.
That's why it's So that's why it's the Sair project.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is how it's started, and I feel the same ideology is sort of seeping into Chamki right now. What I'm trying to do with Chamki.
अच्छा. Yeah. And by then, Priyanka, style आ गया था अपना, मतलब जो like now that what we are seeing on Instagram.
See this, it's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So नहीं, style का कुछ style has been very organic for me. It is मतलब हमेशा फॉर मी इट वाज ऑलवेज लाइक मैं मजे के लिए ड्रॉ करती थी. सो वो स्टाइल जब तक कि डेवलप हो गया मेरे को रियलाइज भी नहीं हुआ कि ओ ओके लाइक दिस इज समथिंग that people recognize. This I've started to realize very recently, where people are like, "No, is this your work?" And I'm like, "Okay, maybe then now people are seeing it."
It's natural.
So yeah,
Because
so in fact,
please.
Sorry, I forgot that I have 2 books. This was my first ever book that I've done in college.
Okay.
And so Devangana had helped me a lot. Devangana, she used to work with Penguin, so she had helped me a lot. And this was my style back then. So you know, you can see like a lot has changed. For me. And then this was the book I did with Katha. It's called Shumantar. So I illustrated this with Katha, and this was also done on Photoshop. So for me, like medium change bhi kafi major hua.
Yeah. But one thing that is very evident, even when I'm looking at it right now, it's very like you have a thing with your colors.
Yeah, colors. Yeah, that's something I really enjoy doing.
And you are very well able to like blend it all together. It's not looking like too like jarring कि बस हमसे बर्दाश्त ही नहीं हो रहे इतने colors. You know, like it's coming out nicely with your.
वो शायद ना मैं थोड़ा ज्यादा क्रिटिकल हो जाती हूँ कभी तो वो जैसे द कथा वाला जो बुक है like going back of course I would have done it very differently but yeah that time this was yeah.
So you're saying why I'm talking about style, I'm going back about style is because see this, if all the illustrators or people who want to be illustrators are watching or listening to this show, they would want to know, you know, सबको लगता है at one point of time कि क्या मुझे स्टाइल फॉलो करना चाहिए, I just start drawing in one pattern, and initially what I also think is like I also illustrate, so what happens कि initially वही होता है तुम सिर्फ मजे के लिए बनाते हो और you see something then you're like I also want to draw something like this, and that stark like बहुत different from what you do. Eventually when you start doing something repetitively you end up going back to your style, or I would say it's like your comfort zone, you know.
Exactly. Because what you're saying ना कि मुझे भी वैसा करना है वो मुझे अभी भी होता है. Like you know that's like a constant कि you know that's so beautiful, I want to do something like that. And it's not like I still even try to do it because very honestly I've had the very opposite experience कि people have been like you know restrictive हो जाता है थोड़ा कि you know so I was actually looking for a job as an illustrator, you know, in the start of my career. And that's one thing they told me, you know, once you have diverse styles, so it's easier for us to hire you because then you can work for multiple clients.
And you can adapt also.
You can adapt. For me, that's very difficult because it's like this, I feel like you don't know how you build it, right? So you don't know how, like I don't know how I built a style. So if you ask me the process, I have no clue. So I don't know how to break it. You know? तो मुझे ये instinctively मैं जाती हूँ उस तरफ. So even the colors I never do like a color wheel, I never follow any of that. It's just instinctively what I'm doing. वो तो इसीलिए I'm just not able to. ये actually problem हो गया if I'm honest.
अच्छा
कभी हो जाता है because people then start to see you as a certain kind of designer and you want to diversify.
For example, if someone like wants to hire you for a like I work in a fintech app, so like a fintech role, they'll be like, "Arey, she does very children's book."
Exactly.
So that becomes like a blocker. But I think people who are smart, they would know that a person has skill and capabilities, and she can adapt. But I think we see designers, we see illustrators, artists who get very attached to their art, and then they're not ready to, you know, break from it. Like in the corporate scene, they'll be like, "अरे भाई, इसको हम बोल रहे हैं, you know that black shadow डालना नहीं है, but you're like, हम बोल रहे हैं इसको black shadow डालने को, why is she not like putting?" So वो एक problem होता है. But if they see that someone is able to step away from their own thing and ready to adapt to the brand style, then they anyway like are open to, you know, hiring and stuff.
So I feel like that's why diversity in your portfolio is very important. So instead of maybe someone is new to illustration or is looking for, you know, any kind of advice, I feel like it's very essential कि आप जितना diverse हो सकते हो, जितना adaptable कर सकते हो, उतना करो, because then that makes more sense for you. Yeah.
Professionally and financially also, I would say.
Correct.
I mean, नहीं तो you know वही एक ही चीज करते जाओगे all the time.
Huh. So that's also what I am trying, and I also did. So I did like fabric illustrations, like for Sudha Murthy, it was a fashion label, you know. Then I also did ads, ke liye some work. Then one of my artwork was, printed on a billboard very recently for an ad. So I feel like I am trying to really push towards that sort of flexibility with art.
Got it. तो मेरे साथ क्या हुआ था, थोड़ा चेंज हो गया हमारा टॉपिक, बट
नहीं that's fine.
मेरा क्या हुआ था कि मैं तो विजुअल डिजाइन ही कर रही थी ऑल दिस वाइल, ठीक है. तो फिर मैं बीच में जब मेरे को जॉब चेंज करना था बिकॉज ऑफ व्हाटएवर सर्कमस्टेंसेस, तब जब मैं मार्केट में गई एंड व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड अप्लाइंग, Priyanka, it was like there were no other roles.
know what you're saying.
I also applied for Illustrator roles and I got a role with like a children, कोई ऐप था जो children's कुछ बच्चों के लिए K2 education, कुछ K12 education something बनाते थे, और उनके साथ मिला भी, and package and all was also nice, like if you compare it to like the but और कोई और like rather than उसके अलावा कोई और जॉब ही नहीं था प्रियंका, कोई एक भी नौकरी नहीं था. एंड देन आई सडनली रियलाइज्ड कि नाउ इफ आई डोंट पिवट टू UI UX a little bit, then it will be so late in my career, then I wouldn't, मैं कैसे back to basics जाऊंगी. तो मैंने वैसा like try किया. और जबकि all these, I must tell you also this, like all these product companies always want an illustrator, always.
But you know what I've seen, कि उनको वही है ना, उनके स्टाइल में इलस्ट्रेट करने वाला कोई चाहिए होता है. हाँ. एंड वो उनको समझ में नहीं आता कि अच्छा मे बी आई बी एबल टू अडैप्ट, पर वो मे बी में ही वो फिर कैंसिल हो जाता है एप्लीकेशन.
तभी मैंने बोला कि the person who is looking to hire, that person needs to be smart to think this person is experienced enough that when we throw some problems at them, that person will be able to think creatively and not download things from Freepik and just change outline and color. Difference.
For sure.
Yeah, it's all about people who are like hiring you basically.
But you're saying that there are illustrator roles in all
product illustrator. Like पहले क्या होता था ना, all these big products like Google and like Microsoft, or like even all the smaller products that we use, all used to be based out of US.
Right.
So सबकी brand teams used to sit out of US. When their teams are sitting out of US, they are hiring designers also there. They're hiring product designers. Here they are doing all the extra work, you know, like service-based work. Now with companies that are built out of India, like Indian products, like Upstocks, a lot of these products जो Indian products हैं, तो वहाँ पे illustrators मतलब होते हैं. जो Indian होंगे वहाँ पे उनको चाहिए illustrator, अपना कुछ brand बना रहे हैं, you know, like Dunzo.
Yeah.
उनके पास होते हैं ये सब होते हैं. Okay, coming back to now I want to ask you that now you graduated and you were saying that that's how freelance work started coming in. So let's talk a little bit about how did you start getting freelance? क्या process था? I mean, how did you become available as a freelancer कि people started reaching out to you, and how did you market yourself basically?
Okay, so I start like from where I graduated, right? So फिर वहाँ से I started looking for a job. So I did do a job for a couple of months, and then I was like नहीं, मतलब बॉम्बे में तो नहीं हो रहा है अभी, I have to come back to Pune. So then I shifted back, and तभी I was still on a lookout, whereas someone from Penguin got in touch with me. And they'd seen my work on Instagram. In fact, they were also in Shrishti, and they were like, oh, this is really nice, can you sort of take up projects? And I said sure, क्योंकि तभी मेरे पास ना job था ना कुछ था. I was just making art for fun. And you're out of college, so pressure नहीं रहता है कि अरे कुछ उस commercial कुछ करना है. ये वाला pressure feel नहीं हो रहा था तभी मुझे.
Once you start earning, then it becomes I have to make that much money.
Correct. So तभी तो कुछ नहीं था. So then they asked, and I was like, yeah, sure, like why not? And that's how the first book happened. And I thought कि अच्छा ये मतलब एक ही बार है, मतलब I don't know if I'm going to do this again. आएगा तो करूंगी, नहीं आएगा तो I had no like plans as such. But also like a lot of people from Shrishti, a lot of friends from Shrishti started recommending my work, and that's how like projects started streaming in. So तभी तक I had no social media strategy, तो पता ही नहीं थी मुझे, and I had nothing planned. But then धीरे धीरे I started figuring out कि अच्छा काम आ रहा है, अच्छा काम आ रहा है, मजा आ रहा है काम करने को, then I should start building my social media. And so yeah, then after that I started building artworks with a purpose in a sense. कि I used to like give myself like a prompt कि अच्छा कि ये colors के साथ let's play and see, because it shouldn't always look like a children's book illustration. So couple of illustrations that you will see are very, I started doing patterns, and that's how like the patterns sort of built for me for projects also. So textile में जो मैंने projects करे, that's how it helped me there, you know. And a lot of self-initiated projects sort of brought in work that I wanted to do. So I also say this a lot, you know, if you want to do certain kind of work, do that work as a self-initiated project. And showcase it. But pata nahi chalta hai, and no one has the time to dig through your profile and find out what you do. So so that's how the whole. But abhi bhi I still very honestly struggle with social media ki, kya strategy hona chahiye. After a point I'm like, kya followers I don't know now anymore. I'm going to do what I enjoy doing and rest will take care.
And pressure भी feel होता है कि मैंने इतना काम किया था, Instagram पे तो डाला नहीं, अब क्या करूं? जो अच्छा काम था वो डाला नहीं, ये stupid काम डाल दिया मैंने.
Exactly. और कभी-कभी क्या होता है, some work that is in that, ऐसे टाइम पास में बनाया था, उसको ज्यादा engagement मिल जाता है for some reason, for other, like in comparison to something you really worked very hard on. और फिर then I'm like, you know what, I'm going to hide the like count. I'm not going to see kitne likes आए, kitne, because then it's obsessive after that. So
that's a very good thing, dude. Like generally also in life I feel, oh यार मैंने नहीं किया, मुझे आता ही नहीं करना. मैंने Instagram करना ही बीच में बिल्कुल बंद कर दिया था. With this YouTube channel and this thing, I'm like, मुझे ऐसा realize हुआ कि I am doing lots which people don't know about. So मुझे ऐसा लगा because people are hooked to your phones, so let them think I'm whatever, like whatever the word is, like Instagram पे डाल दिए, पर थोड़ा बहुत तो डालना ही पड़ेगा. Like my very close friends जिनके साथ मैं रोज बात करती हूँ, they're like, are you saying तूने 3 वीडियो बना लिया, 5 वीडियो बना लिए? हाँ, हमको क्यों नहीं पता लगा? You know?
Right.
So I feel that if you use it in a right way,
of course, yeah. And I'm starting to realize that a lot with Chunky also, because now that I have my own brand, it is essential, because like you very rightly said, no, people spend so much time on their phone. Attention spans itne kam ho gaye hai ki if you have to like put yourself out there, you have to very aggressively, say ki acha main ye karti hu, and if you need this service you can get in touch with me. So yeah.
Cool. Now let's talk about that book for Sudha Murthy that you did. And
so this was the first.
Yeah.
You're asking me a question. Tell me.
No, I'm like, this is one thing like I associate you with. This woman does illustration and she did like children's book illustration for Sudha Murthy. You wouldn't believe, I want to say that I have a friend who's at my house right now. She's also my batch. She knows you and she says she had a course with you. And Madhura, I don't know if you know her.
Yeah, of course, Madhura, yeah.
She's in the next room.
Oh,
I just told her, don't talk to me, blah, blah, blah. Don't call me. I'm going to have this interview with this. She's like, who's this person? I said, there's one college junior only who did some work for a book with Sudha. She's like, Priyanka? Oh. She's like, this episode I'm going to watch. I'm like,
oh, yeah. Hi, Madhura, if you're watching.
So tell us about like how did you get this पूरा थोड़ा journey कैसे हुआ ये?
Yeah, so this first book तो ये हुआ. So this was one of the first books I did, ever for a publishing house. And Devangana in fact got in touch with me and she's like, you want to do work? And I said, okay, sure. And that's how it started. तो मैंने तो expect नहीं करा था कि email में आएगा. First of all मैंने सोचा उसने पूछा है कि freelance के लिए free हो, तो I didn't think कि आएगा email, इतने जल्दी. But she sent an email and that was I read the name and I was like, dude, done. This is all I need. So, wo tha, and the first book happened and there was a lot. So, of course, like a lot of thought goes behind it, right? So, I think, like I made sure that there were layers through the book, through the visuals, and I feel like it's such a powerful tool and we should definitely use it. So, in this book, for example, it's about like a princess who loves to wear like different clothing and different types of clothes, and every day she wants a new dress. Okay, and so the backstory, right? How do you what do you bring to the table as an illustrator?
Hmm.
So I wanted to do that additional layer of, if she's a princess, her parents probably have enough money to outsource, the fabric from multiple, maybe around the world, but around India also. So this could be a great opportunity to talk about the textiles of India. So then, we included block print, we included zari, and all of these, you'll see all of these visuals in the book. And
ये सब
yeah, then
सीखना पड़ता है. Imagine an illustrator को इतना जाना पड़ता है अंदर पूरा deep to think about. हाँ.
And I feel like वो बहुत essential, and many people don't realize this. So I've had this conversation with a lot of people, especially like mothers of kids who are reading out these books, right? And I was explaining to them as a general में कि ऐसा ऐसा process होता है, and they're like, oh, अच्छा ये भी है, we see this, but we didn't think that you had to think about it so much. So there are a lot of layers to it, but yeah, that's.
You get to read the script a bit, right?
The full book, yeah, because it's a short book. They give me the script and they give me the pagination. So then again, there's this whole process of how to break down this, in chunk of information that's given to you, and how do you make sense of it visually, right? What's important to put on the page. And so the second book is like a big favorite of mine. I had a ball illustrating this book because there's so much scope, right? So there are actually two styles in this. So एक तो ऐसे थोड़ा realistic वाला style है, which is like something like this.
Got it. Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah, and the second is very stylized. So the characters in the book are supposed to be painting through the book. So then again, how do you bring in two styles sort of that come under the same umbrella, if you know what I mean? Like same language that follows through the book. And that was also a challenge. But again, like the fruits, the kind of, plants and trees and animals you can, draw in these books. That is very exciting for me.
I also saw on your Instagram that you met Sudha Murthy. So
yeah, oh god. So Sudha ma'am is like, she's like a granny, okay? She's so warm and she's so nice to talk to. So first two books I hadn't met her. I had written to her via email saying it was such an honor to work with you, and it really is. I mean, I've grown up reading her books, and I never thought I'd be behind the scene of not one but three books for her. So it's a very big thing for me. So when I met her, this was in Pune only. She was here for another book launch. And so Mehta Publishing House करके यहाँ पे है, and they very generously allowed me to sort of come into their office and talk about another book that they were not launching at their store, And so Sudha ma'am was very nice. She spoke to me for 5 minutes I think, and she asked me कि अच्छा तो तुम तीसरा book पे you're working, and then you showed me 2 layouts. उसमें से I'd like the third one. So she remembered that there were 3 rough layouts, and she met my parents. I was so shaking. I was very nervous. I was like, मैं क्या करूँ? I don't know what to do with my face anymore. She only introduced, she's like, oh, you're her parents, and she was very sweet. So yeah, so it was very nice meeting her. That was the first time. Second time I met her at a book signing. So she was here for another Pune Literature Festival जो होता है. And I went there and I looked at her, and then she was like, oh, you're my illustrator. I'm like, you remember me? You know my name. So that was also very sweet. But एकदम मतलब जो life का highlight I feel for me is this third book. So ये जब खत्म हुआ था तभी so this was done on a short sort of time, right? It was on a tight timeline. So she had called me after that. I didn't expect a call from Sudha ma'am, and she called to tell me that you've done a very good job. इसमें सिर्फ ये छोटा change कर देना. I was like, yeah, they told me I'm doing it, but so sweet of you to call, no? And she said something so important and so nice. She said, when someone does something nice, you should call and tell them, you've done a good job. And someone doesn't do something nice, you should call and tell them that also, you could have done better.
Yeah.
So ekdam, that was like I cried that day. We did like a celebration. We went out for dinner. I was like, "ये बहुत बड़ा दिन है मेरे लिए."
Yeah. No, and I must tell you that, Priyanka, I mean, think about this, that even when I told my friend, she's like, oh, I know her. So it's almost like it's become synonymous to like Priyanka, to Sudha Murthy's
Oh
book.
my god.
Please, for us, you don't know this, but people are talking behind your back, okay? Like, about this. So, validation.
Oh, big time. My god.
हाँ,
Yeah, it feels really nice, and kids recognize your book, and they're like, "अच्छा तुमने वो book किया था." They know the characters. So I had this one talk with this I think school in Hyderabad, if I'm not wrong, and those kids had recreated parts of the book. That
Yeah.
was so sweet, like characters, and it was really nice to see that it has made such an impact.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this is how you, in a way, have carved your path to become like this children's book illustrator, right? I want to like highlight this. Why? Because I feel that किसी को पता भी नहीं है कि this is like a job that people can do,
Yeah.
and it's a very, I feel like, if you, I mean, like if you cut everything out of this, it's a very liberating thing to do, like drawing, to stories, and like getting the characters alive and all of this. So let's talk about you as an illustrator, as a children's book illustrator, and how this profession has become your profession now, and how do you like tell people, मतलब कि I feel बहुत लोग ना डरते हैं, जैसे बोला ना प्रियंका, लाइक कि विजुअल कम्युनिकेशन ही कर लेती हूँ, ग्राफिक डिजाइन ही कर लेती हूँ. हाउ लाइक इफ समवन इज थिंकिंग ऑफ दिस एज अ प्रोफेशन, then what are your, like, how do you want to tell them कि कर लो नहीं कर लो, what to look forward to, and like how do you think
Right.
it would be?
So I feel like it's definitely not a conventional career path to choose. So I feel like अगर आप स्टार्टिंग में हो ना, so it's a very good place to have your priorities sorted out. कि आपको मतलब जो satisfaction आता है वो चाहिए, या you are looking for the financial, which is absolutely fair. I mean, you are looking for a financial aid, in this, in your journey, in your life. So you want a job. That's also a very fair deal to do. So what I always suggest, if someone asks me this, is कि you don't restrict yourself to only one thing. Graphic design कर लो आप, मतलब if you're, then you can also take on logo projects or branding projects later on, right? So illustration is such a beautiful thing. You don't need a degree for it.
Yeah.
You don't need, you just need to be drawing with your heart, I feel, and you need to like know the process a little bit, very honestly, because it's not a linear process. And there's like, I think we also spoke about a little bit, no, there's a lot behind the scenes that people don't realize कि वो नहीं कहते कि when the design is very good, that you don't know it's good design when you don't recognize it's good design.
Yeah.
Right? So it's that kind of a thing with illustration, I feel. And now that I am in this position, very honestly, I didn't plan it. I just did what I really liked, and this is where I am. But I can really feel the power that illustration holds. I mean, as a child, like, simple things like body image issues, right? So as a child, when you think of a witch, or even today, if you think of a witch, you think of a crooked nose. So you've heard this a lot, especially like teachers के साथ भी ये होता था कि अरे उसका नाक कैसे एकदम चुड़ैल जैसे है, So we don't realize it, but visuals have such a huge impact, on how we think.
It becomes like it's registered as something, and then becomes memory, and then it goes back into your subconscious like that,
Correct. So it's conditioning in a sense, right? So I feel like to be in a position where I can impact or change that, or mold it in a different way, give it a different light, it's really great. Like, it's really great. And
it's almost like how they used to talk about the writers, na, pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you think about it, you have the power to draw and make someone believe that, day can be. कौन सा वो movie था? The sky is pink. They're like, who says the sky is blue?
Yeah. I mean, that's 100% true, and it is an amazing feeling. But there is also the very harsh truth to it, उसको if you want to do a business out of it, you have to look at it as a business. And this is something I have learned very late in my life, I feel. Matlab, better late than never. But, you have to think of it as you have to do contracts, you have to do invoicing. Pata hi nahi tha. I had no idea कि क्या होता है, कैसे होता है. So all of these things are very important. And if you are thinking of becoming a freelancer, it comes with a lot of flexibility in your life. You can do a lot. There's a huge, like, मैं हमेशा सोचती हूँ कि अगर मुझे कल रेस्टोरेंट खोलना है, कौन रोकेगा मुझे? I can carve my own time. I can do it. I can figure, if I really want to do it, I can figure it out, And that's also the power of being a freelancer. But on the flip side, financial stability मुश्किल है, नहीं आता है. For many years, it takes time to settle into it. So that's for sure. So I have seen a lot of people who juggle jobs and freelance, which is also a good idea. So so whatever suits, I feel, your priorities, that should
take time. Like एक चीज करो जो prioritize करके. So anyone who, for example, me, if there are those phases. Someone is doing a lot of illustration and then they are in that zone. Some people maybe like 10 years into illustration who do it like on and off in part of their job, or like just do for themselves, as it's a hobby, dude. Like at least for us, it's a hobby. So, and also for people who've like first year students, or like people who are in like 11th standard, 12th standard, anyone like, who wants to pick this up. It happened by chance for you, but then what would you tell them? कैसे वो इस चीज में transition करे? मतलब, of course, this is not black and white. कि प्रियंका ने बोल दिया तो यही है. But then, what would your suggestion be for them?
See, I feel like social media is a very big tool today. So a lot of like editors are looking out for, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, they are looking out for artist illustrators. So make sure your work is reaching there. So isme, even while I say that I don't pay attention, but I realize the importance of paying attention to, algorithm kya hai. क्या मेरा काम मेरे target audience तक पहुंच रहा है. And that's also how, so if suppose you are hiring and you see my work and you feel like this can adapt, then you will get in touch with me, right? And honestly, most of my projects have come to me through Instagram and through referrals, like through friends and family and people from Shifty, and that's how it's happened. So I feel like at least your circle should know what you do. Constantly. They should be updated with what you're looking for. So today, if I'm saying I'm doing books, tomorrow if I say I want to do films, they should know that I want to do films. Not just know it, they should be able to show it to the third person. Right? Jo maybe they have a connect with. So I feel like it's like if someone wants to do it, do something, with illustration, it's very important to figure out areas कि आपको editorial करना है, start किससे करना है, ad करना है, editorial करना है. So if you want to do an ad, then go meet with an ad agency, show your work and talk about your work. And in this whole thing, talking about your work is also it plays a huge role because that sort of sets the tone for, how the other person sees you for the first time, right? What's their impression of you? So,
and write cold emails like you sent.
Cold emails. And I have also done that. So you write cold emails. 90% of them you don't get an answer to. वो तो होता ही है. And I also feel like very importantly, don't get discouraged by it, like काफी बारी a lot of major organizations that I wanted to work with, I haven't gotten selected in any of them. And बीच में वो phase आया था where I'm like, maybe this, I don't know what I'm doing. But you just have to stick with it, I feel, for a while. क्योंकि वो ऐसी वाली चीज है ना कि right person right time, वो वाला ये कि if the right person sees your work at the right time,
A lot of times you would send emails to someone and they will say यार इसका काम बहुत अच्छा है पर अभी हमारे पास है नहीं, या फिर इसको परसों फोन करेंगे, but then they got busy and they didn't call you. This is, I must tell everyone this, सबके साथ होता है यार अभी.
और especially आप start out कर रहे हो ना, तो वो बहुत major लगता है because you don't know how hectic it is for the other person who's seeing your emails, but बहुत major लगता है, ऐसे लगता है कि insult हो गया, or they haven't paid attention, maybe I'm not good enough. And मुझे लगता है then, like, what I am trying to do now is, if that sort of thing happens, then I sort of try to dial back and see what can I change in the way I approach them. and can I write an email in a better way? They get to know me in a quicker, better way. Is that something I can do? So
make it easy for them to like call you back or like say,
correct.
I think
I'll tell you something. So I put out a call for intern बीच में, okay, internships के लिए, and some of the applicants I got उनका link clickable नहीं था. They didn't have their social media handles on the email. It is so important because if you get 50 applications in a day, you get sorted out on these tiny things. Yeah, you get rejected. So I feel like ये छोटे-छोटे चीजें हैं that can really help.
Yeah.
But maximize visibility.
Yeah. Another thing, Priyanka, I also know that you have a shop. People can buy some of your products, right?
Yeah.
Quickly tell us about your products. Like, what are you making, and
yes,
what is your favorite product? Also, I want to know.
Yes. So I have it right here. So this is one of my favorite.
Acha, that bag, yeah.
Bag.
Yeah.
So we have like 2 slip-in pockets here. So basically, ये मेरा बहुत favorite feature है because I used to keep like पानी will leak and something will happen. So this makes sure that the bottle is एकदम straight inside. So what I'm essentially trying to do is make products that have art, that have a narrative with it, which are not just pretty, right? Because also with illustration and storytelling, that is so essential. Like suppose like what I live in Pune, right? So I want to talk about the heritage of Pune. I want to talk about the history of Pune. Something very similar that I did with Sair. How to tell stories of the space and the people with products that are more accessible. So tomorrow, if you're coming to my city with no knowledge, will my product give you a little bit, little narrative or little something to take back with you about the city?
Yeah.
That is essentially what I'm building towards. I also have diaries. So we have these in like 4 designs right now, but I'm working on many more, and this is one of like
this is my favorite. I've been wanting to get it myself, but you just keep planning and you never end up.
Yeah.
The shop is there, no, on your Instagram?
No, so you can just like I'll save one for you. DM me.
Also, I think you should put this some link. You should put for people to buy. I think.
So I'm working on a website फिलहाल क्योंकि फिर क्या हो गया I started Chumki, so all of these products are coming under Chumki right now. Not my name. So फिर Chumki का अलग website बना रही हूँ मैं, and I'm planning like lots more exhibitions, like some more launches soon. So by the second half of the year, when the gifting season also starts, right?
Yeah.
So I want to have them all ready by them, and we are going to really like. There's a lot more coming. Yeah, in products also there's abhi to 2 ही है, but there are a lot more coming.
Got it.
Yeah.
Another thing, I also saw that you had your some workshop you were doing, right?
Yeah, so I'm planning a workshop. I'm planning on taking a book illustration workshop. So again, like how we spoke about the whole process, I feel like it took me 4 years to get into that mindset where I'm ready to process it quickly. जैसे I think even you must have experienced this कि हम जो कॉलेज में करते थे mind maps, अभी you can with a snap do it.
Yeah.
Because वो processing quick हो जाता है आपके mind में, है ना? So I feel like if I can give this knowledge of how to think like a book illustrator, right? So that is something I'm building on for sure.
No, I must tell you this, Priyanka. Like even like for me, when I saw that link, I was like, अरे मुझे करना है ये. नहीं मैंने कर पाई, क्या हुआ पता नहीं मुझे. I don't know what happened after that. Why I'm telling you this is because my main job is something else, but this is something that I like to do. तो मैं क्या इतना research नहीं करती कि how to do something, how to this. So once, and also I feel that I know that there are like 100 courses online, but you need some human connection to understand, ask some questions and get like answers to your question. So that way, I think it will be very nice for. I'm like I encourage you to do those workshops, even if like 5 people turn up, 2 people turn up, like कुछ recurring कर ले या कुछ, because you have the name, like you have proof, dude. Like is what I'm trying to say. You have. You're not faffing here, ठीक है?
Yeah.
And there are people who want to learn this. There are people who want to learn this. Even if वो उसके बाद जाके बन रहे हैं illustrator, like they are earning from it is something else. And you're learning today, and then 6 महीने practice कर रहे हो, and you are posting on Instagram or you are showing it to Priyanka only, and then Priyanka is on some project and she says, Kritima, by the way, I need someone to help me.
Absolutely.
Can you just join me? So
Yeah,
that's
100%.
time. So
And the challenge that I'm facing, no, Ritima, is that it's such a huge process to जैसे सीखने के लिए मैं बता, it's one thing to just put it in a presentation, but I feel like this is an interactive process. I have learned it in a very interactive way with my faculty and peers, and it's very important that we bring that, you know, conversation in the design space also, especially as a freelancer, because क्या होता है आप अकेले काम करते हो तो it's your own mind, so it's interesting to have different perspectives on one thing, especially when you're starting something new.
Do offline thing, dude. Like that will be.
Yeah.
You know there are these sip and make.
Yeah. Sip and make me will cover 0.05%.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Even if like 10 of us, like all of us, turn up with like our iPads or even like pen or paper and like we have to make. Do that, dude. Like it will be great, I think.
And I feel like I really want to go there where I'm doing offline workshops in different cities also, because and also like जैसे ये तो बहुत बड़ा process हो गया, right? But illustration, for example, ये जो tiger वाला है, you know, a lot of people also come to me saying that we can copy an artwork, or you know, we can copy off, like base it off something that we've seen, but how do you do something from scratch? You know, again, like I think you as an illustrator would also have experienced this कि वो practice से ही होता है, and it's like this way of thinking that you get used to.
Or sometimes it just comes to you कि
comes to you.
I want to make this, I want to draw this, you know, like that.
रात को 12 बजे उठ के, you know, out of, I have done this, नींद से उठ के पहले I would sketch it out, because you know, then what if I forget it? So these ideas happen, and I feel उसके लिए भी I'm doing like smaller chunks, but for the book one is definitely very exciting because it's a huge workshop. It's like, so for right now it's 5 weeks that I'm doing over weekend, because people are, you know, working also. So with homework and 5 weeks is the plan right now. So May end tak, like I definitely plan to put it out. Yeah.
Great. But no, you're doing great work, and I think all what you've told us is it's, I think even for me it's nice to know कि मतलब ऐसे किया, you know, how did someone, I've seen you from there, you know, like from college to now, and but it sees that कैसे, you know, how did these things happen in between, and you know, the story, and it definitely will inspire people जो लोग बहुत देर से सोच रहे हैं, and maybe they have a lot of work kept in their archives which they want to like post now. Right?
Please post, guys.
Yeah.
Please post now.
Yeah.
Don't keep it. Yeah. For sure. You know, someone had, sorry, one thing I wanted to add. Someone had also told me कि if you don't like a certain, मैं ऐसे करती थी कि I don't like this artwork, तो मैं नहीं post करूँगी. And you know, they told me don't do that, because maybe someone else who's looking for something might like something like this. And I started doing that, you know, and it's made a difference. So post all your artwork.
And I also want to say, मेरे साथ ऐसे हुआ था कि मैंने बहुत देर तक iPad नहीं खरीदा था. मेरे पास पुराना iPad था, तो मैंने iPad नहीं खरीदा था, तो मैं तो अभी भी Illustrator पे ही draw करती हूँ. मैं अभी भी OG Illustrator OG.
Wow.
Like I have to dig and find my pen tab. मेरे pen tab का एक wire जैसे पुराना हो गया है. कॉलेज का pen tab ड्राइवर मैं डाउनलोड करती हूँ उसका मेरे नए लैपटॉप पे, और फिर पेन टैब से ड्रॉ करती हूँ, बिकॉज मैंने बहुत देर तक नहीं किया था iPad पे ड्रॉ. देन एंड माय हस्बैंड यूज्ड टू सी मी डू दैट, एंड ही इज लाइक जस्ट गेट अ iPad, एंड यू नो व्हाट, आई वाज लाइक no, but it's not worth it, because what if I don't draw, then I'm spending so much money getting an iPad and an iPencil, and it's not worth it. And then he's like, listen, matlab if you can afford it and तेरा शौक है तो करना, मतलब
correct.
और मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि I made it like a hurdle in between me and my illustrations. So that way I think people should not get stuck into कि मेरे पास iPad नहीं है, मैं नहीं बना सकती प्रियंका के जैसे. मेरे पास Apple पे बना सकती
100%.
हाँ.
I'll tell you something. In college, I was terrified of digital illustration. Third year तक मैंने Photoshop में illustrate नहीं करा था. Because I was so scared. Then one of my friends, Samyukta, from my batch, who probably know her, so she was like, I'll teach you simple things of Photoshop. तो मैंने Photoshop के थोड़े simple tools के साथ start किया, and that's how I started drawing on Photoshop. And in 2019, I think, I got the iPad, and then that's been like, I've forgotten Photoshop. But again, like now I'm like, अच्छा traditional को कैसे जाए, So mediums हमेशा एक आप ये करोगे तो वो छूट जाएगा, ये करोगे तो वो छूट जाएगा. There's no like, yeah.
I think अभी जिसमें comfortable है उसमें करो.
Correct.
Whatever that is. एंड उसके बीच में कभी एक्सपेरिमेंट किया, कुछ ट्यूटोरियल देखा, कुछ किसी का देखा, उसको ट्राई करने की कोशिश की, उसके अंदर तुम्हें पता भी नहीं लगेगा कि कैसे तुमने कुछ नया ड्रॉ कर लिया है,
Exactly. But कृतवा इसमें एक बहुत बड़ा चीज, मतलब what I am facing right now, because I am trying to switch a little to traditional also. I don't want to leave that practice, I was pretty good at it, I think, and now I have lost touch with it quite a bit. But there's this pressure of drawing well, जो बहुत stressful होता है. So if there's anyone who can like avoid this and try to get into a mind space where you're not judging your own artwork, it'll make the process much easier for you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's very stressful that way, but
no, I agree. That's there. I was trying one style for 36 days on the iPad because I was like, इस बार तो Procreate पे ही बनाऊंगी कृतवा. Bhai, you would not believe. It's like I go like on for a swim or like some walk at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. 8:15 ho gaya. I'm trying. Then I'm like, no. Before I go for a walk, I will still add one layer to this, and I will do. And then in that pressure, I couldn't go for my swim.
Oh God!
I got late. And then in that pressure, that style also didn't come out. And then at night when I'm sleeping, I'm like, I'm not doing 36. मुझे नहीं करना है. Next day, back to my Illustrator. 5 minutes में some concept I've thought of in 2 minutes में कर लिया. I'm like, इतना pressure क्यों ले रही है यार? मतलब
देख, अभी मैं Illustrator पे नहीं कर सकती. You know what you are doing. So there's always mediums that will challenge you, but it's so nice that you still tried. With it.
This on my desk, my iPad sits here, okay? In between there, sometimes if there are long meetings also, I will just like make some thing and फिर मैं उसको बंद करके रख दूंगी. I'm trying to get I know it seems weird right now, but मेरा एक fear हो गया अभी.
Yeah. No, I relate to that.
It's like a fear कि and then if I've made something nice also there, I feel नहीं ये अच्छा नहीं है,
Okay.
I don't feel confident about it. At all.
It doesn't meet your own standards. Is that what you're saying? Like you feel like you can do better than this, though?
I don't know. I keep on justifying like something or the other. Like I was saying कि मैंने iPad खरीदा, इतना पैसा लगा के iPad खरीदा, और because how we as designers have expensive equipment. So
yeah.
You are like कि मैंने अभी खरीद लिया और फिर मैंने उसको इस्तेमाल नहीं किया तो waste of money. You know how? फिर then I had Adobe, what is that? That watercolor one. Fresco. So at one time I was in London. Fresco तब launch हुआ था, तो मैं Apple के event पे गई थी जब Adobe Fresco launch हुआ था.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. तो उसने Apple के event में they taught us how to do it, so they gave me Fresco and all. तो मैं इतनी देर तक Fresco यूज करती रही कि I will not buy Procreate. I don't do stuff on Fresco. You wouldn't believe, Priyanka, I think पिछले 1 साल से iPad is just getting used to watch Hotstar or like and the pen tab and the pen is somewhere in one drawer kept in one side, and one day I'm like, okay, let me just figure it out and then find my pen, और वो डर बैठ गया कि नहीं and then one day I'm like, okay, let me just buy Procreate. And so that's what I want to tell everyone, that होता है सबके साथ. Like I'm doing my thing that it becomes like a thing.
But this is really, so I was initially also planning workshops for basics Procreate के. You know how we say कि symmetry tool है.
हाँ.
So just to get used to it. आप tutorials देखते हो, लेकिन तो I was thinking tutorials तो already है. So why would someone want to? But after hearing what you have to say, I feel like it could be something like someone might be interested in. one-on-one when you're drawing with a group.
Hmm.
And so tools are just basically, it's just a matter of getting used to it, and how can you use it in different ways. It could be an interesting direction.
You could do like concept plus
Yeah, yeah,
for like each thing, or like I don't know, like all tools, all concepts, whatever.
Yeah.
We plan it like that.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. All those who are watching and
Yes.
are interested should probably
Yes.
join
Get
the-
in touch with me.
Yeah, I will put your socials here, and
Yeah.
people can get in touch. Cool. Thank you, Priyanka.
Yes.
I'm so
Thank you.
that I just sent you that message and this happened, you know.
Yeah, I'm so great. It was so nice talking to you, like old friends. जैसे हम बात करें, whereas I'm talking to you for the first time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. This is really nice. Thank you.
Thank